There was a Norse god of skiing, and he was apparently the stepson of Thor. His name was Ullr, and he's not mentioned a ton, but medieval sources refer to him as the skiing god or hunting god. His name likely comes from Proto-Germanic Wulthus, meaning like glory, and it's thought that in the past he was actually a somewhat important god. He's often depicted just shredding it on some handmade skis with a bow in his hand, and this imagery is still used today, often engraved into like ski equipment and stuff. You can also find his name in a lot of toponyms or names for places in Sweden and Norway. But if he was so cool, then why was he mentioned so little, and why have most of us never heard of him when we've heard of like Thor and Odin and stuff? Norse gods like Thor, Odin, Loki, and Ullr have ancient origins, but they actually weren't written down until relatively recently, historically speaking. For instance, they were only written down about 800 years ago after the regions where they were worshipped started to become Christian, which means that we don't really have a full picture on how Norse mythology actually worked. And certain gods like Ullr or Tyr seem to have lost their hype over time, and by the time their stories finally got written down, people had sort of forgotten how important they used to be. For instance, the name of the god Tyr is actually a cognate with Zeus, one of the most important Greek gods. So he probably used to be really important, but just lost a bunch of status over time for whatever reason. And some scholars have suggested that Ullr was kind of like an aspect of Tyr, so he lost his status as Tyr lost his status. But nowadays, maybe Ullr's gained some of that back. For instance, in Breckenridge, Colorado, they hold an annual Ullr Fest with Viking-themed parades and bonfires and skiing rituals.